This is the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on January 18th. Our time is 8:38 Mountain, 10:38 Eastern. Radio show runs in Alberta on QR 77 in Calgary, 630 CHED in Edmonton. Also, we run in Toronto on News Talk 1010. Next week, our show, normally we're on Saturday at 6 p.m. Our show, due to the political convention, is going to be on Sunday 8 until 9, and that'll be the 27th. So keep that in mind. Next week, we'll be on Sunday 8 until 9 o'clock instead of Saturday night. Don't forget, Harold has an auction, hsfineauctions.com, an auction coming up January 30th. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain. We'll talk about it a little later in the show. You can connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The telephone number 1-800-432-1022. The only company Harold recommends you use when it comes to investing in precious metals, Worldwide Precious Metals. Their website, wwpmc.com. Telephone number 1-866-623-2002. And Harold, we have a beautiful featured diamond this week. It's an Argyle pink. We'll talk about that later in the show. But the bombshell news coming out this week, and it was a huge monster. Germany has asked for its gold back that was being stored in France and the United States. Even better, it's going to take 7 years. It's about 1,500 tons of gold, something that you could very easily transport. And yet it's going to take 7 years, and this really opens up Pandora's box. Obviously, there are people out there who are saying, hey, wait a minute, the gold's not there. If you say that, you're a conspiracy nut. Well, I don't think I'm a conspiracy nut. I'm just, after what we saw during the financial crisis with the banks and the Madoffs and the Stanford Financials, I'm sorry, I'm not very trusting, Harold. It would not surprise me at all if that gold is not there, and the reason it's going to take 7 years is because they don't have it, and they'll have to give it to them over time. And that is a huge thing for the gold market, a positive, because it could drive up prices dramatically very, very quickly.
It could drive prices up into the thousands and thousands, and how in the world is that gold going to be replaced at much higher prices? So, the fact is that if that news is true, and it wouldn't surprise me either, because what these banks do is they lease out the gold. And I think that what they've done is, if it is true, is so illegal, and again, and what it will show is that there is no gold around. So if they cannot replace all of that gold, and it's going to take 7 years to replace it, and then other countries are going to start to look at the same thing, and then when everybody discovers that their gold really isn't there, what do you think is going to happen to the price? The price could go to $10,000. So the fact is that all this is going on. It just appears that we live in a world right now where the governments seem to do whatever they want to do. They're in so much trouble that it really doesn't matter. It's almost like, they'll deal with it now and then deal with the consequences going down the road. But everything has a consequence, and if that gold is going to take 7 years to be replaced, and again, what happens if the prices go to $5,000? How in the world are they ever going to replace that amount of gold at such a high price? I think this is one of the most bullish things for gold that we've seen. So, again, we'll have to see how the saga unrolls, but it's very, very interesting to see. And as Randy said at the beginning, nothing surprises us anymore. With what's happened with in the financial markets, with Madoff and everything, and people's money being stolen, and in the commodity markets where, the companies have gone in and taken the money from segregated funds, it just appears that the greed right now is insurmountable. And what people are doing, again, they're just going to deal with it down the road because they're in so much trouble right now. So we've had a good week in the market. Basically gold has traded and hit almost $1,700 as we're taping the show. We hit $1,696. Actually, on Thursday, the market was up and did break over the $1,700 level. But $1,700 gold is only minor resistance. $1,800 is the important number, which is about $100 from here. You could see that in 2 or 3 days given the right situation in gold. So gold is starting to move. It's right at around 1,700. We need to break 1,800 to have a very good chance of hitting the all-time highs of 1920. We are still predicting that gold will break 1920 this year and actually go to 2,000 unless the news 2,000 to 2,200, unless the news that Randy reported at the beginning of the show is true, and then we could see the market take off so fast it's not even funny. So again, you do need to own gold at this particular point, physical gold. The market has been up almost every single day this week, again, but we're still trading within a range. We need to get to 1,800. Two closes above that will let us know that we're going to 1920 at least. The silver market also had a very good week. We're up 15 cents as we're taping the show. We've broken $32 now in silver, and we're trading as high as $32.24. $32.50 is minor resistance. $38 is a very important number. We get two closes above $38 silver. We have a very good chance of breaking $44 to $50 silver again this year. And again, if gold takes off like it very well could, silver could still go to $50, $60 or more. Platinum and palladium have been the stars this week. In actual fact, platinum, which is down on profit taking right now about $15, it did hit $1,700 this week. So for the last 2 years, really, platinum has been under the price of gold for really the first time, I believe, in history. Because even back in 1980, when gold hit $850, platinum was at $1,100. So platinum right now is pretty well even with the price of gold. And we do believe that over the shorter term, platinum could take the lead again because, for some reason, there's bullishness in the automobile industry. So we've seen platinum move higher. It's been up almost every single day this week. But the palladium market is now over 700. It's actually trading as high as $731. Palladium is an excellent buy at this particular point, as long as the economy tends to move forward. If there's another major recession coming on, or even worse than that, then I see those markets, the car market, backing off. We've had a huge, huge week in oil. In actual fact, 2 months ago, the price of crude oil was down at $80. It's now at $95. We've seen a 20% increase in the price of crude. If you listen to the show, you know we're very bullish on crude oil. We believe that crude oil this year, because we do believe that something will happen between Israel and Iran this year, we do believe oil could go to $150 to $200. It's something that you could put into your retirement savings plan in the form of U.S. oil, an ETF, an exchange-traded fund. The Dow Jones has been up almost every day this week. It's trading at 13,593. The TSX is up 60 points as we tape the show today. We're trading at 12,733. Myself, personally, I don't have a penny in the stock market, nor would I. It's way too dangerous at this point. We read an article to you last week about billionaires selling all of their stocks or a lot of their stocks. That's happening all over the place. I don't see why you would want to have your money in the stock markets at this point. In 1999, the market sold off and took away everybody's money. We all remember Nortel at $125, and when it finished, it was down at 50 cents. It was almost every Canadian RSP. The stock markets in 1999 were devastating. The NASDAQ dropped from 5,000 down to 1,000. The stock market fell in half. Then, as it recovered, it took till all the way till 2008 for the market to get back to 14,000. And then, you know what happened. The markets plummeted all around the world. The Dow Jones dropped by over 50% from 14,000 down to 6,500, and that could happen again. In actual fact, from 1999 till 2008, people barely made their money back into the market when the markets plummeted again. And now it's 2013, and the indications are again that we're in trouble. We could see a 20, 30, 40, 50% decline in stocks. There's actually somebody who feels that's got tremendous credibility that the market could drop as much as 90%. If there's a chance that the Dow could drop another 30, 40, 50%, as it did back in 2008, why in the world would we want to have our money sitting in that market? I would rather be sitting in cash and make no return than risk my money in paper assets at this point. Everything is so dangerous. The U.S. government is in so much trouble. Randy and I were talking at the beginning of the show, and President Obama doesn't care anymore. I mean, he can't be reelected, so he's steadfast in what he wants to do. With this debt situation of $20 trillion, it's an impossible situation to get out of. There's no way in the world that they could pay the interest on that debt for a prolonged period of time, and if the debt ceiling isn't raised, then the U.S. is going to lose its AAA credit rating and is not going to be able to pay debts. And we all know what happens when we can't pay our debts. So the fact is, these are the most dangerous financial times we have ever seen. And there are very few markets that can protect you against the onslaught of what's going to happen. Again, there's no guarantee that anything that we read or we think is going to happen is going to happen. The only way we know is when it actually does happen. But when it does happen, it's already too late. We've got to be protective at this particular point. I personally do not have any money whatsoever in paper assets. I do own cash because you need that to operate your business. Most of my money is in safe assets, physical gold, physical silver, and diamonds. That's where my money is invested and where most of my clients have their monies invested, because it only makes sense at this particular point that those are the assets that maintain their value, respond to inflation, and I just don't see any way in the world that we're not going to have massive inflation. Because the fact is that as we speak, oil is trading at $95. It could easily go to $150. It's been there before, and I believe it's going to happen again. Then on top of that, we read a report this week that vegetables and food prices are going to skyrocket because of the drought last year and the winter so far this year. So again, as food prices go higher and oil prices go higher and your currency gets weaker and weaker, that's what inflation really is. When your dollar doesn't buy what it used to, and again, you can no longer pay your bills or live the standard of living that you're used to because your income is remaining the same, your investments are dropping, and the cost of living is going up. Again, we're hard-working Canadians. We may have had some success and put some money away. We're not the Warren Buffetts of the world that have billions of dollars. We cannot afford a mistake at this particular point. And to risk any money at this time is a big mistake. We need to be conservative, put your money away, have it in hard assets, and don't take the risk of these paper markets, because again, people that are extremely intelligent and know these markets very well are getting out of the stock markets at this point and basically sitting that money on the sidelines. So again, right now we're very bullish on gold and silver. The scenario with Germany not having their gold and waiting possibly 7 years, I don't see how the gold market is not going to start to skyrocket if that news is proven to be true.
Read the articles on the German situation. We have it in our newsletter. Our newsletter this week is a must-read. There's no getting around it. We have our charts of the week, quotes, quick hits, information on diamonds, gold, the German situation, silver, platinum and palladium. One of the reasons platinum and palladium have caught fire, Amplats shut mines. They axed 14,000 jobs and sent palladium prices skyrocketing. Anglo-American Platinum, Amplats, the platinum miner, was hit by a wave of violent strikes last year. They announced Tuesday their intentions to close and sell off several of its mines in South Africa as part of a long-awaited review of operations. So this is one of the reasons beyond the car situation that platinum and palladium are doing very well. And we saw this happening. You may remember I spoke about this about a month or 2 months ago. Speak with Worldwide Precious Metals, the company that Harold recommends you use, about platinum and palladium, because we could see that situation starting to develop. Also information in our newsletter on the U.S. debt and deficit crisis, sovereign debt, currency wars, quantitative easing, the stock market, and real estate. It's a must-read, the companion to our radio show this week. Get the newsletter. Read it over. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals, the company Harold recommends you use, the only company, at 1-866-623-2002, 1-866-623-2002, or wwpmc.com. Let them help you. Start your own precious metals investment account today. Let them educate you as to the ins and outs of getting involved in the hard asset market. Later in the show, we will talk about an auction Harold has coming up and our featured Diamond of the Week. Now, the German story continues on. James Turk says it's quite clear that German gold is being held hostage. They are not getting what they want. They're getting what the Federal Reserve is telling them they can have. The fact that they are doing it over 7 years rather than 7 weeks is just an indication that gold probably isn't in the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve doesn't want to have to go out and buy it overnight to fulfill the German demand. They are trying to stretch it out as long as possible in order to keep gold prices under control. And I really encourage you to get the newsletter and read all the articles that we have this week on that German situation, and we have some fantastic information. In fact, beyond that, we have, and this is a very important article that I want you to read when you get our newsletter. The London Bullion Market Association has done some predictions for the year when it comes to gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, and we have put those predictions in our newsletter. If you would like to read them, definitely connect with Worldwide Precious Metals at 1-866-623-2002 or wwpmc.com. They will be more than happy to send out the predictions to you. And it looks like, according to the bullion dealers, and they've been actually very accurate, that it's going to be a very positive year. They see gold advancing roughly 14% this year. Now, when it comes to silver, they actually see silver going up 29%, platinum 13%, and palladium 23%. Obviously, we're a lot more bullish than that. But, Harold, I would encourage people to get our newsletter from Worldwide and see the information on Germany and the information from the London Bullion Market Association poll of their traders, because it is going to be very bullish for the year when it comes to hard assets. But this German story, and this is something that has really caught, I was even watching a little thing on the internet on CNBC, and they were asking some different traders, is this a concern? And they were saying, yes, it is a concern. When you have the impression out there that maybe the gold is not there, and it's going to take 7 years for them to come up with the gold, that is a serious concern.
You better believe it is. I mean, it's just out-and-out thievery. So I think that we could wake up one day in the very, very near future and see gold up $100, $200, $300. I've seen days like that before. It's extreme. And the fact is, it would take a scenario like this in order for us to see $100, $200, $300 move in a day in gold, but it's very, very possible. So again, if you believe that these things are happening, if you believe that we're going to have high inflation, currency devaluation, and problems in the financial markets, you have to readjust your portfolio to make certain that you're protected. Again, we work way too hard to make a mistake, because if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s and you lose your money at this particular point, the chances of making it back are slim to none. The stock markets don't give us that opportunity anymore like they did in the 90s, and neither does the real estate market. So the fact is that if this is going to happen, and there's an excellent chance that it will, we need to protect ourselves. And very simply, if you go back in history, it tells you what to do, because history always repeats itself. Physical gold and silver will get you through inflation, as will diamonds. And the fact is that if you have a lot of money sitting in paper assets like your stocks and mutual funds, I would liquidate them. I would be in cash at this particular point. There's no way in the world that if we get a repeat of 2008 that you're going to make that money back again. And it's taken from 1999 till 2008 just to see some of your stocks come back to break even. That was 9 years just to get back to break even. Why in the world take that risk again? My suggestion, get smart, get some physical gold, some physical silver while it's still affordable, and then at that point there, definitely get some diamonds, and we'll talk about that on the second half of the show.
Keith Barron, who was interviewed by King World News this week, Eric King, and his great website, said Germany's entire gold hoard at the Fed may already be gone. I believe that most of the Western world's gold, which is supposed to be in central bank vaults, has been leased out, much of it now in private hands in India and China, and what remains continues to go east to China and Asian vaults. So most of the Western gold has vanished from the vaults, and it's just a book entry. These various Western countries and bullion banks simply roll out these leases, and they roll them over when they come due, and the gold never gets returned back to the country. So it's very interesting to see what's going on. Obviously, the trust is breaking down in the system. Maybe we're going to see a little bit of a run to the exit when it comes to gold and repatriation, and the bullion banks are going to have to buy it from somewhere or fail. I just don't know there is enough available physical gold out there to cover all the outstanding loans. I'm just not out. He actually goes on to say, it's just not out there in the marketplace to be acquired for what it's worth. All of this is very bullish for the gold price going forward. Stephen Lieb, another money manager, goes on to say the exact same thing. In fact, Bill Gross from PIMCO was saying, what does this say about central banks' trust for each other? We know that about a year ago, Venezuela, with Hugo Chavez, who is dying of cancer, the leader of that country, he wanted their gold back. They got it. Germany, that started with a groundswell of support from their citizenry and forced the politicians to do it. Now the Netherlands wants their gold back as well. This is a powder keg that could blow at any minute, and all I would really say is educate yourself. Get the newsletter. Read the stories over. 1-866-623-2002. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. Get your name on the list for our free weekly newsletter. We send it out via email free of charge. And let them educate you as to why you need hard assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and start your own precious metals investment account today. They will run through their opinion on this German gold scenario. And I would bet, Harold, that with about 2 minutes left here in our segment, they're in agreement with us very strongly that this really opens up Pandora's box, and it even has the mainstream media questioning what is going on, which is very, very rare.
You certainly have it right, Randy. Again, these are just very, very trying times, and again, the amount of thievery and underhandedness that is going on in the financial markets, and it appears that when these scenarios happen, nobody seems to get in trouble. Nobody really got in trouble over the mortgage debacle in the United States. I saw, reports on 60 Minutes in 2020. It's unconscionable that the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the regulators of these markets, are doing such a horrendous job because, again, people that are in business are allowed to steal customers' money, and again, it's losing the integrity of the markets. It's just an unbelievable time.
Then you add in the flash crashes from the high-frequency traders. 60 Minutes did a piece on that, and Madoff and Stanford Financial and all these other landmines that have been out there. It's not a surprise people are giving up on the stock market. Learn about hard assets. Get our free weekly newsletter. Educate yourself as to what's going on in the world today. You work hard for your money. Have it work hard for you and protect it. 1-866-623-2002. The website, wwpmc.com. We're going to come back and talk about diamonds and an auction that is coming up you don't want to miss. The World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping the show on January 18th, 2013. Our time is 9:02 Mountain, 11:02 Eastern. Radio show runs 6:30 CHED Edmonton, QR77 in Calgary, and News Talk 1010 in Toronto. Now, next week in Toronto, normally we run on Saturday, 6 till 7 p.m., we're going to be on Sunday night, 8 until 9. 8 until 9, and that is due to the Ontario Liberal Convention. News Talk 1010 will be covering that event. Now, I should remind you, obviously you can listen to us on the radio. You can listen to us online on Harold's websites, rarecoloreddiamonds.com and HESradio.com. The shows are there. You can stream them. And even better, be a part of our podcast. We have a podcast through iTunes. Just type in World Financial Report, and it is there. You can subscribe to it. You can have it on your iPad. I've listened to the show on the iPad, my iPhone, and any portable device. This radio show goes wherever you go. So if you ever miss a radio show, we are there for you. Should remind you that Harold has an auction coming up, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, January 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. And go to the website right now. You can take a look at the auction and the different items we have up in the catalog section, and take a look at some of the items we've had in the past to give you an idea of what is featured on a monthly basis when we have these auctions. Connect with Worldwide Precious Metals. Harold recommends worldwide when it comes to investing in gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Ask them about the situation with Germany repatriating their gold, and even what's happening with platinum and palladium. They'll explain it to you and help you start your own precious metals investment account. www.pmc.com, 1-866-623-2002. And Harold's website for diamonds is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. And to speak personally and privately with Harold about diamonds, 1-800-432-1022 is the number. The featured diamond this week is on the website in our newsletter. It's a 0.51 carat cut, and it's absolutely gorgeous. 0.51 carat radiant cut, fancy, intense, purplish pink. And Harold's website, it's the only one with the video of the diamond. You can see it online. You can see a picture of it in our newsletter. It is absolutely stunning. And Harold, one of the things I did this week is I went back and found an article that we had a few months ago to remind people about the situation in pink diamonds because it is so critical. We had an article called Pink Diamond Era Nears Its End, says expert. Now, Australia's world-famous Argyle pink diamond source is trickling to a halt in what will be the inevitable end of an era for the global luxury jewelry manufacturing, an industry specialist says. A sparkling keepsake for royalty and the rich, the pink diamond is a delightful freak of nature, according to British jewelry historian Vivian Becker. Rio Tinto owns the Argyle mine in Western Australia's rugged East Kimberley region, produces more than 90% of the world's supply of pink diamonds. But the subterranean stream will be exhausted within the next decade. The products of this mine have changed the course of modern jewelry design, and the chances of finding such another stream are slim to impossible, according to Ms. Becker. She said that in London. We have always known it was a limited source, and that at a time would come when this fabulous fluke of nature would end. But there is a lack of appreciation for what this will mean. In another decade, the Argyle pink will emerge as the new Fabergé egg, the thing jewelry myths are made of. And she went on to say that these diamonds are selling for thousands to millions of dollars per carat, and they have prestigious, obviously, pedigree behind them. The value of rarity is the most priceless factor in the world of jewelry today, and as supply tightens, prices will be driven up, according to Ms. Becker. Harold, this is a must-read article for those that missed it in the past. I wanted to bring it back because as the clock ticks, we're getting closer to that end point for the Argyle mine.
You bet. It's one of the most exciting scenarios you could ever ask for. We've seen it happen before only once, where a significant mine had closed and a particular type of diamond almost became extinct, which are blues. And we saw what happened with the price. In 2005, a vivid blue diamond was $200,000 when the mine closed. 3 years later, it was up to $1.4 million, 700% higher. And now, to get a vivid blue diamond, if you could ever possibly find one, they're over $2 million a carat. Same thing is now happening with pink diamonds. Again, if you learn from history, history repeats itself. And again, we've got a scenario where the major mine, the Argyle mine, is about to close. They say they're going to try to keep the mine open until 2018. I think it's a stretch, but that's only 5 years from now. Give it 2 years for the diamonds to run out, and we believe the Argyle pinks will be 8 to 10 times what today's prices are. The other thing about the mine is that the diamonds are getting smaller and smaller. These are the most concentrated form of wealth in the world, and the prices are going higher and higher. You know, the thing is that in this day and age, to find an asset that will increase by 25% a year is a real rarity. And if you do find something that could make that type of increase, 25% a year is huge, there's normally a huge amount of risk to it. But that's not the case with Argyle pinks because there's so few of them. There's less than 200 carats a year, and these diamonds are just going to skyrocket in price. In fact, they never ever fall in price. So these diamonds double at least every 3 to 4 years, but the closer we get to the mine closing down, they'll start to double every 2 years, and there are certain Argyle pinks that are already doing that. Vivid pink Argyles at this point are doubling in 2 years. and they're very, very difficult to get. So this is the most concentrated form of wealth in the world. 95% of the Argyle pinks are under a quarter carat, but they're worth a fortune. And we believe in the next 8 to 10 years, these diamonds will be worth 8 to 10 times what today's prices are. Mathematically, what that means is you invest in an Argyle pink for $50,000. That diamond could be $400,000 to $500,000 8 to 10 years from now. If you're in your 50s, 60s, you haven't put away anything for retirement, as a lot of people haven't. We're so disillusioned with our RSPs, haven't made any money in those. There are certain diamonds that will get you there. But these Argyle pinks, in my opinion, are a home run. Again, if you don't learn from history, it always repeats itself. We saw what happens when a major mine closes down and what happens to the prices of those diamonds. Now, I've invested very heavily in these diamonds, and you're going to find that over the next few weeks that most of the Argyles that were available through Argyle will be on my website. So you're going to get an opportunity to see the new selection of Argyle pinks as they're just being graded by GIA, and they will all be on our website over the next week to 2 weeks. We already have an amazing inventory of Argyle pinks. Again, I'm the type of person that puts my money where my mouth is, and again, I invest most of my money in this type of asset. So you're going to be able to see these magnificent Argyles. They're just coming out of GIA. Then we have them videoed, and then we put them on our site up for sale, and then it becomes on a first-come, first-served basis. We've now become an international company. We have clients all over the world that purchase diamonds through us and purchase diamonds through our auction site. So as Randy mentioned, we have an auction coming up on January the 30th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain, and it's going to be a phenomenal auction. There's going to be some magnificent gold, silver, and platinum coin sets auctioned off. One-of-a-kind coin sets that are just magnificent, that are all very, very high-end, that you would do tremendously well with. And then there's going to be 8 Argyle pink diamonds. 8 Argyle pinks, and some of them are going to be round, which are the rarest cuts. So you definitely want to attend this, because your chances of getting diamonds like this are slim to none. The other thing is that a diamond is only a good investment when it can be resold. So what you're going to see on January the 30th is what we've built. No other company has done this. No other company has built a secondary market for you to resell your diamonds. We're the only firm that has done that, and it's come at a tremendous cost. It took us 2 years to build it. We have brilliant young techie kids in Vancouver at Relentless Technologies, very good friends of mine, that have built all of my websites. But the thing we're most proud of is the auction site. It's never been done before. We insisted that it had to be live. No streaming type of thing where it gets interrupted. It's got a half a second delay. I sell every single piece, so it's not like an eBay site where you just put in a bid and wonder whether or not you won anything. You're going to know because it's done right in front of you, and it's done worldwide. Now, we have clients and bidders that will come in from Europe, and because their currency is much stronger than the U.S. dollar, they get an actual discount on these diamonds, because at one of the last auctions that we had several investors from London, and because the British pound is worth about 40, 50, at times 60% more than the U.S. dollar, they get a tremendous discount, and they've been buying up all of the diamonds, which is great for our clients because, again, they're getting the top price for their diamonds. We look to make money on the currency when it's possible, but mostly we look to make a big return for our clients, and we participate in that with you. If you do well, we do well. If you make a lot of money on your diamond, we get 10% of the profit. If you happen to invest in a diamond and didn't make any money, which I think is extremely rare, we don't make any money, and that's the way it should be. So the thing is that investing in diamonds is not a short-term situation. You don't want to buy a diamond today and sell it in 2-3 years, because you're not going to make any money with it. The reason for buying it is protection against inflation, protection against depreciating currency, and to make money. So you've got to hold on to a diamond for 5, 8, 10 years. Put it away. Just put it away in your safety deposit box and let the market do its thing. The fact is, if you bought it last year and want to sell it this year, you're not going to lose any money, but you're not going to make any money, and that defeats the purpose of it. Buy a diamond, invest in it. It's going to protect you. There are certain diamonds that protect you against stock depreciation. I'm going to talk about that next, but the Argyle Pinks are amongst the best investment diamonds you could ever buy. We own most of them. We've invested very heavily in them. If you look at our competitors that are trying to get into similar markets, they just don't have any. That's because we own most of the Argyle Pinks that are coming out of the Argyle mine, and that's because we put up our money for the next 2 to 3 years. The other diamonds that you want to look at are D flawless white diamonds. D meaning the letter D, which means colorless, basically. For all those that own diamond rings, engagement rings and wedding rings type of thing that we bought for our wives, first of all, even though they may not be flawless or of extremely high clarity and quality, they've all gone up over the years. In actual fact, diamonds have been a phenomenal investment over time. But we sell the rarest of the rare. So D, meaning colorless, flawless, meaning the clarity flawless, which is the best that you can possibly get, internally flawless, meaning the same thing. And these diamonds are triple excellent. They're excellent in every single category. They represent a minuscule part of the diamond market. Of the entire world diamond market, these D-flawless whites represent 0.001% of the market, so they're extremely rare. They're negative correlated to the stock market. In 2008, when the Dow Jones plummeted by 50%, these diamonds went up 50%. For those of you that don't want to sell your stocks, you can literally buy a diamond and hedge against anything bad that's going to happen to your stock portfolio if you purchase these D-flawless whites. And they are magnificent. They're perfect diamonds in every single way. And again, we recommend them very highly. The other scenario that basically ensures our success in these diamonds is that I'm working with a diamond fund out of Luxembourg that has contracted with us to buy 900 carats a year of these for their investors. So out of Europe, they have now approved the only diamond fund. It's almost like a mutual fund, but they have to purchase the actual diamond and keep it in a particular bank. The bank has insisted on 1 to 5 carat, round, brilliant, D-flawless white diamonds. They're comfortable with the 25% return and that they're negative correlated to the stock market. If you happen to own one of these diamonds, you are so fortunate, number one, but they go up tremendously in value. And they could protect your stock portfolio and protect you against inflation and make you a ton of money. If this fund ends up eating up all of this 900 carats, which I'm positive that they will, I'm working that closely with them, there will be no more of these diamonds. And we've contracted with the miners to buy them for the next 10 years. So we can supply these funds for the next 10 years, but I want my clients owning these diamonds because if the fund is going to make 25% a year, I want my clients to make that money. And when all of these diamonds run out, they could go up 30, 40, 50% in a year. There's just no investments that give you that type of return with the safety that you have in the rare color diamond market. The other diamonds that we recommend are the least expensive. They're the yellow flawless diamonds. We recommend the canary diamonds, the fancy light yellow flawlesses. Then we recommend the fancy yellow, fancy intense, and if you could possibly get one anymore, the fancy vivid yellow flawlesses. They're almost impossible to get. In fact, if you look on my website, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, there's 2 of them left, and one of them is $1.5 million. It's a 6.5 carat square emerald cut, fancy vivid yellow flawless, one of the rarest diamonds in the world. That diamond's $1.5 million. It's $250,000 a carat. That's how expensive those diamonds are now becoming. We've actually gone back, looked at our inventory, and we're able to cut some that were VVS1s and VVS2s into flawless. We made them slightly smaller, but that's what we've now had to resort to do in order to get our clients these fancy vivid yellow internally flawless diamonds. So again, the diamond market is on fire. We're being approached by companies all over the world that want to invest in diamonds. However, we take care of our clients first. We've been in the diamond business for a long time. I've been in the investment business for 35 years. My radio show has been on in Canada for the last 13 years. We take care of our Canadian clients. Make certain that you look at rarecolorediamonds.com, look at the Argyle pinks while you can still get them, look at these deflawlesses before the fund buys them and before they buy them out. Just amazing investments. And these yellow flawlesses start at $15,000 and go up from there. The deflawlesses for over a carat started about $60,000 and go up from there. I have a 5-carat round deflawless diamond that's $1.5 million that will do nothing but make money for you. So we want to make certain that our clients are taken care of, that are situated in these markets, have them put away for their safety and protection, but dollar per dollar, there's not another market that will make as much as these diamonds will over the next 5 to 10 years, and I've never been more excited about what's happening in the world markets, realizing that most of my clients and family owns these magnificent assets.
And the beautiful thing about a diamond is obviously it's something that you can show off, but the simplicity of it, it's been around that as an investment and as a showpiece for thousands of years. It's not some crazy hedge fund or derivatives contract or some crazy thing we do not understand. We all understand diamonds. We all understand the importance and the beauty of diamonds. That's the beauty and simplicity of this investment. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Connect with Harold, 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. In a world where it seems, to me anyway, that Wall Street and bankers are trying to make investments very complicated, this is a very beautiful, simple investment that you can have and pass on to generation after generation. hsfineauctions.com. The next auction coming up January 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 p.m. Mountain. We mentioned Central for those that may be listening to us in Saskatchewan as we've started a radio show there. hsfineauctions.com. This will be the 8th auction. You can go to the catalog and take a look at the items that are going to be featured, and even go, in fact, I was there this week looking at it, some of the catalogs that we had from the past. And Harold, you look at the diamonds, you look at the coin collections that we offered, they were absolutely stunning. And the prices, as you said, people that were living overseas buying in a different currency made out like bandits. They did very, very well. But we must stress, you do not need to make a purchase. If you want to be a part of it, you sign up, sign in. You can sit back and watch, get comfortable. If you'd like to make a bid, obviously, that would be fantastic. But you want to get comfortable, just sit back and give yourself that comfort zone and just sign in and see how things go. But once people get involved, Harold, as you've said, it's a very exciting process. And once you start bidding and you see something you want, it's a very, very compelling thing to watch.
You bet. You know, the thing is that we're going to offer off, I believe, 6 or 7 magnificent coin sets. Some religious coin sets, some beautiful my favorite, and one from my own collection, is going to be a 4-coin gold coin set from South Africa that's a numbered piece that will literally take your breath away. It's 24 karat gold. It's got a 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, and 1/10 of an ounce of solid gold, but these are numbered pieces and nearly impossible to get. We've got a 1 kilo silver Libertad. I know that's Randy's favorite coin,
yes.
And this one is all the way back from 2003. Impossible to get those coins anymore. And then there's going to be 8 Argyle pink diamonds, and some of them are going to be round. The rounds are the rarest cuts and go for a premium type of thing. So, again, this is so exciting. We built the site for you, our Canadian clients, to have fun, to buy magnificent assets at great prices, and again, to see how we built a secondary market for you so you'll feel more comfortable investing in an asset like this. Again, this has never been done before, but again, we're pioneers in that sense, and this is what we've done to create this secondary market for our clients to resell high-end collectibles. The beautiful thing is that it's a worldwide auction. We have clients from all over the world. I just hired a publicist, PR firm, to take us worldwide now. I think that at this particular point, we're convinced that, we have the inventory. We bought as many Argyles in the deep flawless markets, and we have those diamonds for clients all over the world, and we have the manner in which to resell them. So I've never been more excited. We're in very dangerous times, but we're remaining very, very conservative. We're not leveraging. We're not taking unnecessary risks, and we're owning the right assets that are going to get us through these difficult times. And I think that my clients are going to profit huge from their gold and silver and their diamond holdings. So again, it's one of the most exciting times for us and our clients, and please attend this auction. But you have to sign in. So over this weekend, you're going to be able to view the catalog, see all of the beautiful sets, coin sets, see all of the beautiful diamonds, videos, and GIO reports and everything. And then we're going to have our auction on the 30th, and you're going to have a lot of fun and see how magnificent these diamonds and gold and silver sets are.
If you've never seen a Libertad before, go and take a look at hsfineauctions.com. One other item we had in the past was the Vatican set of coins. And when Pope John Paul passed away, they buried him with those coins as a tribute and a memento for him. So you're talking about some high-level collectibles here. The Libertad is stunning. Check it out, hsfineauctions.com. Next auction, January 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. If you missed that article that we had when we featured it a few months ago, Pink Diamond Era nears its end, says expert. It is a must-read. Get it from Harold. Our featured diamond is 0.51 carat, radiant cut, fancy, intense, purplish pink Argyle. Speak with Harold about that. And one of the articles that Harold brought forward this week was something I think you should read as well. Jeff Gunloch, who is a top-flight bond fund manager, he was speaking in Los Angeles and said that the financial catastrophe is just over the horizon. 2 phases of the coming debacle are already down. The 3rd phase is on the way. Obviously, he is very concerned about what's happening in the world today, but what he recommends is hard assets. Diamonds, gemstones, art, and commercial real estate. That is a must-read article. And a quote we have here as we close off this show from Robert Fitzwilson, and I really encourage you to speak with Worldwide this week about the situation with Germany repatriating their gold. This is a huge game changer for gold and silver, platinum and palladium. We're seeing other countries starting to get interested in doing it, like the Netherlands. Robert Fitzwilson said, as central banks and wealthy individuals relentlessly accumulate the remaining supplies of gold and silver, it's a reminder that the consensus knows that this is not a perfect world. The powerful know that we are heading towards a very uncertain and tumultuous transition to a new financial world order. Well, nobody knows what that will look like in the final form. They know it's always underpinned with gold and silver. It's imperative to accumulate the metals in anticipation of that event in our future. It's not coincidence that the Germans are taking back their gold. And if you take a look at what's happening in the world today, the United States with their debt ceiling could have a credit rating downgrade, currency wars, Russia talking about it this week, quantitative easing, sovereign debt crisis, even geopolitical we didn't really touch on this week between Iran and Israel. Harold, and we have about 30 seconds left. Now is the time for hard assets.
You bet it is. And then in the 30 seconds, I was just sent a report that said the U.S. Mint is out of silver coins and suspends sales. So the same thing that's happening with gold is now happening with silver. They say that 6 million silver coins in 2013 so far. The U.S. Mint has run out of silver eagles and has suspended sales. If there are shortages in gold and silver at a time when we're going to have inflation and currency devaluation, I'm telling you that these markets are going to fly. Gold, silver, diamonds. They'll get us through these difficult times, and we'll make an awful lot of money.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel.
It's my pleasure. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
You talk about silver. Read the report we have in our newsletter. James Turk saying that once we get through $36, $37, it could jump to $68, $70 in 2 to 3 months. Once it breaks above 50, the silver market is on fire. Get our newsletter from Worldwide Precious Metals, www.pmc.com, 1-800-632-2002. Let them educate you why you should start your own precious metals investment account. Connect with Harold, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022, and as well weekly updates, daily updates on the financial markets. And HS Fine Auctions, auction January 30th, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.